Have you ever had to give yourself a pep talk just to walk into a car dealership? Or have you ever thought to yourself, I can't trust car salesmen, they don't have my best interest at heart? I'm here to debunk the myths and break the stigma. Welcome to Carman Conversations, the podcast. Welcome back to Carman Conversations, and I'm really happy to announce that this season, it's all fresh, it's all new. We're going with a more interactive weekly update of what's going on in all things Aspley Mazda, LDC, the world of football, anything else associated, and it's around general topic. And we really encourage the listeners to dial into this and shout out to us about what sort of topics they want to talk about, any questions they got or anything in their mind. This will be a weekly thing, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm joined once again by Rach. Welcome, Rach.
Hello, everybody.
Look forward to this cracking season of Carman Conversations. So
it's going to be really fun and just keeping it really fresh and reactive, I guess, to what's happening every week will be cool. So I haven't seen you much this week, Luke. We haven't spoken. What's been happening?
A bit going on, actually. So there's a bit going on in the market, a bit going on in the dealership, a bit going on everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit action-packed, but everything is positive, everything is good, some good energy here, that's for sure. So,
what did you get up to on the weekend?
Weekend was actually a little stay over at Tangalooma. So it's been a little minute since we've been there with the final renovations being done. So the house has been painted now. So Jess and I decided to venture over and spend a weekend at Tanga.
Talk me through it. What did you up to?
It was bloody good. It was really nice. It was a really nice weekend. We just went over on Saturday, and the weather wasn't the greatest, but it was just, everything is beautiful over there. It's like heaven. So just a fair bit of relaxing, a couple of sleep-ins, which I don't get very often, a bit of travelling around the island, a bit of stuff, a bit of tidy up, a bit of maintenance, a bit of yard work.
Your favourite?
All my favourite things. All associated, but everything. It was just a really, really nice weekend. It was really relaxing, just what I needed. It just feels like every time I'm there, I feel so refreshed and feel like I'm a million miles away, but we're on the doorstep, you know, so really good break.
Yeah, I feel like everyone always wants a holiday house, but I feel like out of everyone, you need it the most.
I probably do.
Noise.
I probably do. It doesn't stop. It kind of starts when I wake up and stops when I go to sleep and kind of happens in between, so yeah, the weekends away are pretty good just to wind down a little bit and reset. Just focus on what's important, what's not, and realign.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy in the hustle and bustle to get caught up in not the negatives, but you seem to get caught up in the day-to-day. Sometimes you can focus your energy in the wrong areas, and it's nice to reset. And with a little almost 3-year-old, doesn't allow me much time to be doing work stuff, and it's more full bore all the time, so I just enjoy some family time and get my head kind of cleared and relax and get back and be the most energetic in the room is the plan.
Absolutely, and I don't know about you, but do you just feel like this year is just going
crazy.
And going? Like,
crazy.
How are we in June?
Yeah, I don't know. I say this every year that each year goes quicker and quicker, but here we are in June already, half a year. I'm redoing budgets for the following financial year already, feeling like it was yesterday that we set these, you know. So everything happens real quick, and I think it's a really good lesson for us to think about, that you just need to take a step back and watch what happens, soak up what you've got, celebrate your wins, and focus on the little things because they're so important, because time happens, things happen so quick.
Yeah.
You know, so it really catches up on you.
Speaking of things happening so quick, Rain is 3 this weekend.
My baby boy turns 3 on Sunday.
How crazy.
So, yeah, hasn't that gone quick?
Yeah.
Hasn't that gone quick? He is a treat, that little boy. He's been talking about his birthday for 2 weeks solid now. He's got a Paw Patrol party and tells us about all his friends that are coming. Can't wait to celebrate his special day. That boy, I tell you, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's got a lot of energy and just a ball of excitement, funny, witty. He's got it all, that kid. So, he definitely keeps you on his toes. But, 3, I can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
So what are you doing for his birthday?
Just a little party. He's going to have Paw Patrol mad at the moment. So we're having a Paw Patrol party for him.
For those who aren't new mums or dads, what is Paw Patrol?
Paw Patrol's they're crime stoppers. It's in a little city called Adventure City, and they don't have the police that come to the rescue. It's more the the dogs, the Paw Patrol. So
sounds like my kind of show. There you go.
It's actually quite good.
Thank you for
Give
that
it a
little
try.
synopsis.
There you go.
Now, Luke, how does it feel to lose not just one game, but 2 games in 1 week in the footy?
Tough. It's a tough slog. Being a Dragons supporter is hard work, and I could talk about that for hours because there's so many different parts of that frustrate me, and it actually affects my week.
Yeah,
So a Dragons loss actually affects my week. So a little funny story there is...
it would be affecting a lot of your weeks.
Well, it does. It's we've had 2 wins all up. Like, it's been tough. They've been in the game for, there's probably 7 or 8 games there where they should have and could have won, but they haven't won. They can't execute. They've forgotten how to win, and it's frustrating. And when you're very, very passionate about it, and you live your life around the Dragons playing, it's a tough pill to swallow. And it was funny on the weekend. It was, when I said to Jess, I said, "Oh, this is what we'll do on the weekend, and we're at Tango, and we'll do this and do that." But the Dragons are playing at 6:10 on Sunday night, and then I had a little Wi-Fi issue where I had no Wi-Fi.
Full island spec.
And and I panicked because it was like, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to watch the Dragons? I can get by with everything else, but no Wi-Fi. So anyway, with some quick thinking, we were able to hotspot and able to watch the Dragons. And for probably 70 minutes of that game, I enjoyed it when they were in the game, but the last 10 weren't the best. So that's been a hard pill to swallow, followed by the Origin. I didn't even enjoy that game. I thought it was a pretty average game of football, but and that's probably just one thing I touched on with the team after that Origin game is just maybe just the lack of effort. I see it a lot week to week when you watch the Dragons. I don't think any one of those players go out on the field and want to lose. Like, none of them want to go out there and say, "Oh, look, I want to lose today and play 80 minutes and get belted up to lose." But it's about probably being giving that 100% or more for that 80 minutes of the game and having your mindset right to be able to deliver a result, and have that winning culture and winning feeling of I'll do whatever it takes to find a win. And I would question that. And, just some of the things that I'm not used to seeing, I guess, from an Origin game is that same habits, of that will to win and that will to do the little things. And credit to Queensland, bloody good performance, and it shows they've got every bit of that will and that want, and they just powered through and can do it against all odds. And I use that a lot back to the team is that, you've got a job. We wear our jersey every day, and you've got a job to do to turn up to, but it's how you apply yourself and what your mindset's like and how hard you're actually going to go to deliver that result. And if you want 100%, if you want to give 100%, you need to play for 100% of the time. You can't talk about it, you've actually got to do it. And if you want to get a result at that end of the day, you need to be accountable for every action you have over that day. So it's been good, and probably my big thing is breaking it down from automotive and cars, and we don't want to talk about cars all the time, so I revert a lot back to football. And there's a perfect example of it there, some things I'm passionate about that are no different, professional sports players to professional business people. Like, and what do? We've got a standard, and, when a customer comes through the door here, they want to get the best performance.
Yep.
And as a viewer and as a fan, we want to get the best performance out of our side, you know. So, it's kind of relative both ways. So, yeah, it's been a tough whole week. It's been a tough season, actually, to be a Dragons supporter. It's been a long time since I've seen them at the bottom of the table. 2010 was the last time we saw them win a premiership, and I was stoked to actually, the first premiership I'd actually seen them win. And, since then it's been tough. And these last few years in a row have been really, really difficult. But anyway, I still turn up every week. You
do.
We're out there playing the Rabbitohs this Saturday at 3 o'clock, and I'm sure, as I do every day, we'll go in with the mindset of they're going to win. It's going to be an upset, but we'll see about 4:20 on Saturday where we're at. But anyway.
I'll shoot you a text. Where does the Dragons supporter in you come from?
Oh, it's a bit of a long story, and I've said this 1,000 times over, but I'll say it again. So it goes back to grade 1. You had to do a project at school. It was like that. You do 2 major projects on the old cardboard. You're probably too young to know this.
Is this in the box?
Growing up in the technology world, you do. But no, it was on cardboard, and you actually had to write what your project was on and then get, cutouts and so on in there, and you'd present to the rest of your class what your project was on. And I did two that year. One was on frangipani trees, so I can tell you a fair bit about them. And the second one was on your favourite football side. And at the time I was playing Aussie Rules, and Hawthorn was my favourite team, so I wanted to do Hawthorn, and someone was doing that. And then the teacher said, well, what about, another team, and what colours do you like? And I said, I like the red and white, I like the Swans. And they said, no, someone's doing that one as well. And I said, all right, well, the red and white rugby league team was St George. So I decided to do mine on St George, and it was a great thing, actually. I bonded with my dad over this, so it was our thing that he would bring the newspaper home. And going back then, this is a long time ago, that there wasn't, the social media and, access to every live game of football and everything else. There were Saturday games at 3 o'clock on a Saturday you'd watch on the ABC. And there weren't many more that you see apart from the Sunday afternoon game. So my dad would bring the paper home every day, and I would cut out little snippets of, the little tiny bits around what the Dragons had done and what the ladder. And I became obsessed with that. I actually enjoyed it and loved it that much. And I think Dad loved it because he'd bring the paper home and he'd read the paper, and then at the end of it would give me the sport, and I'd read that, and then I'd go through and I'd cut it all out. And it actually continued on from there, where I knew every player, I knew them inside and out. Even past the project, I kept scrapbooking, I guess you could call it.
How old were you at this point?
I was grade 1, so I would have been 6 or 7 years old. And I continued on with the scrapbooking right up until, I don't know, years later. And I'd cut out everything, and then I moved from there to Rugby League Week. And I reckon right up until I was about probably 25 or 6, I had every edition of Rugby League Week that I had, and was obsessed with the Dragons and knew their first grade side, their reserve grade side, and stats and everything else of it. And my kids have been forced on them to be Dragons supporters, and I've been Dragons through and through ever since. So it's funny.
What a story! I didn't expect that would go down that kind of rabbit hole.
No, and then everyone says, "But you're a Queenslander. How do you go for New South Wales?" Well, back then, there was no Queenslanders playing, no Dragons players playing for Queensland. They were all playing for New South Wales. So how did you sit for State of Origin and actually go against your players that were playing in the opposition team? So I ended up then starting going for New South Wales, and and then I couldn't change back. No. So very, very passionate Dragons supporter, a passionate New South Wales supporter when it comes to State of Origin, only because of the players, and just I can't change my ways there. But yeah, that's how it all happened. So when you believe about something, or when you get that involved and engaged, it's amazing how much you can end up going to the nth degree of it. And I literally did. I actually loved it, and right up like all those years, Rugby League Week and then Big League, and still today my week revolves around what game time the Dragons are playing.
Yeah.
So
do you prefer it now, where there is so much media on the players, and when they're in the game, there's just all the cameras, whereas you go back, I don't know how many years, but if the ref called it, the ref called it. But now there's just so much behind it. Yeah, it's a lot more political than what it used to be. It take away a bit of the fun. I think with technology now, it's the era, it's the movement we're in, and it takes away some of the quality football. Yeah, that's what I like about Origin. The way Origin was refereed as opposed to a club game is totally different. Yeah. And I think that it's far more free flowing. And and I guess it's the generation. So the generation growing up now and playing rugby league now as juniors, they're used to it. So the generation before that was different. The generation before that was different. So true.
So I think it's just a generational thing, and you get used to it, and you still love your team. Yeah. You just get frustrated, and
you can't change it.
No,
so
you can't.
Go with it.
You can't. But the players, credit to them, they play a very physical sport, and there's 38 different angles you can watch from them of different cameras, and they're under complete speculation, I guess. And that's from what we see, and from behind the scenes, from training, with the technology, from medical sides of things, with monitors and tracking their line speed and fatigue and everything else. It's something else, So again, we talk in 10 years' time, it'll be totally different, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Watch this space.
Yes.
Now, Luke, what's been going on with work? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been okay. I just feel a little bit under the pump at the moment. I've got a lot of moving pieces, so we've got a lot going on. The back half of the year for us is pretty busy with a couple of new model launches with CX60 and 90. We've got a lot of activations that we're involved in. There's all these different events that are happening that take a lot of organisation. There's a lot of I guess sponsorships and arrangements and with ambassadors that we have, there's always things going on and events and so on. So there's a lot of that stuff that happens that is timely. And a bit going on too here, we're finishing a financial year. You look at where we are, and like I said earlier, is that you've really got to take an opportunity to celebrate the wins, and I don't think we take enough of those times because we're just moving so quickly all the time.
Always looking for the next
thing. But it's been good. I'm stoked with where we're currently at. We had an excellent month last month, so May was a really good month for us. We delivered 300 new cars. We delivered 72 used cars, which has been our best used car month for a little bit. Service was a great result. There was a great finance and insurance result. Aftermarket was again spectacular. And some really great staff growth. I'm really proud of my staff that they continue to step up and grow and develop and shine. So, but with that, 90% of my week is around player management and mentoring. And that's where you spend your most time. You relax on that and you drop your standards. So that always keeps me very, very busy. But a few things going on with Mazda at the moment. Which is great. A lot of stuff happening behind the scenes as well.
Can you give any specials?
More a bit around a bit of end of financial year activity. What's going on with CX60? So we're close to the launch of that. CX90. There's a big focus with Mazda 2 just around some, I guess, more around customer service and what things that we've adopted internally that we're doing. I'm off to Melbourne next week to spend a few days there, just around probably using some benchmarking for us of what we can do better from a customer service point of view, doing some dealership visits, doing a bit of study too around professionalism, people, systems, process. Also a little bit of a mission around with the hospitality sector of standards when it comes to customer service, profiling of people, recognition of returning customers, retention. All these things are really important in our business. And again, if you just focus in the automotive world, you talk automotive language. This is why I like to branch out and try some other specialties and then try and bring that skill set into our game. So a bit of that going on. Again, time consuming, but if you're just happy with what you're doing, you'll just keep turning up with the same result. So I never want to be complacent. I want to keep dialing it up and being the best on ground. And to do that, we've got to try some different things and have a go. So always very, very busy.
Well, that'll be really exciting. And then I guess next week we can get a bit of insight into your Melbourne trip and hear
Absolutely.
all about it.
So when we podcast next week, I'll be able to give a bit of a wrap. I'll have a lot of energy around that. I love this stuff. I love probably testing yourselves in a market and testing yourselves to see what we do really well. As an owner and operator, you like to think that you're the best in the game, and sometimes you realise that there's other people doing some things out there that you hadn't thought of. And then I get excited about that, not that I know they're doing a better job. How can we kind of get better than what we are? And I always like to probably be a step or two ahead of the market. And I think this would be a really good test for me to see where we sit, what we can do better, adopt some things from a different industry, and then mentor some of the staff and get them heavily involved. So it just won't be me driving this. There'll be quite a few people involved in it with player management and probably role models and mentoring and some coaching going on. So all my frontline staff will be involved in this over a period of time, and I'm looking forward to rolling it out actually and seeing the result and how much engagement I get. It'll be really, really good.
Sounds like a pretty exciting time for
definitely.
Frontline
It
staff.
definitely
awesome.
is. Definitely is. And this is the thing, it's always about new opportunity and finding a way to get things done, finding a way to make things better, finding a way to create better opportunity. And I think overall, when you put it down to everyday experience, you always look for something that makes you feel good, and you always look for something that gives you good energy and good vibes, and it's the feel goods, and I think that's a lot of it is how relationships are built with customers and third parties, and I think that people look for that stuff. They look for that for drive. So I'd like to think that if we can keep bettering ourselves in those areas, that we'll grow personally, professionally, but it'll be a good staff development. So
yeah, definitely. That's exciting. We are right in the thick of end of financial year right now. We're going hard on our campaigns. How are you feeling? We're halfway through the year. Are we there? Are we reaching everywhere that you want to go? Or
I think so. As far as end of financial year, every year is different. You think of, you go back over previous years and, some of the new staff come on and say, looking forward to end of financial year, what should we expect? And it's not the same as the year before and the year before that, and a lot of it is
especially the previous years.
Well, it's been different, with COVID and stock supply, pipeline. We're in a pretty good position. Like I said, we had a really good May. I've got some good stock levels coming through in June. There's a good reason a great time to buy right now with the sale event that we have on.
Yeah.
And it's a great time, I guess, probably as a reset, from a business point of view, to kick off again with the new financial year. So, we're going along well. We got plenty of, opportunity out there for buyers. And again, for us, there's a lot that always happens behind the scenes with trade cycle management and prospecting, and you just don't wait. And when people say, when is the right time to buy? Yeah, like June is a great time, and then there's great savings on. And right now, probably it doesn't get any better as far as offers go.
No.
And from a stock position, we're in a pretty good position as well. Of being able to, we've got over 100 cars in stock at the moment, which are available for immediate delivery. And 6 months ago, I would have loved to be able to say that, but it didn't exist. So we're in a pretty good position. Yeah. Really good.
And so we haven't really spoken to the listeners on the podcast for a few months now. A bit has happened in the economy, interest rates going up and inflation rising. How are you sitting in all of that?
It's different again. And, I guess there's a couple of ways to look at it. You can mirror the market. You mirror the market, you become safe, conservative. You think, no, interest rates are going up. We better hold off. We better not purchase right now and all the rest of it. But, if we had that mindset to anything, we wouldn't buy anything, we wouldn't do anything, we wouldn't go out, we wouldn't have any sort of lifestyle at all. But at the same time, people need to be conservative and think, okay, well, when is the right time to buy? When isn't the right time to buy? The market's always going to go up and down. And I had this conversation with my daughter last night, actually, and she's very, very smart when it comes to that and around, the market of what do you do? Thinking ahead, it's not going to stay like this forever. Is now the opportunity to bunker down, or what do we do? Interest rates, they're going to continue to go up, but they're going to come back down. And that was my advice, is always that, they're always going to flex. There's always going to be some ups, but with the ups, there'll always be some downs.
For sure.
And it creates opportunity on both levels, So, again, I think this is the prime time, and I was talking about some of this morning, that a lot of people don't put that in consideration. And they treat the market and play what's in the market right there and then with no foresight and no vision, I guess, and overcapitalise and probably go a little bit too hard. And then when the market changes a little bit and interest rate changes and cost of living goes up, etc., that they get caught, And I think that's relative to where the mindset is, is that you've always got to be ready for that fluctuation somewhere.
Yeah.
The fluctuation down and the fluctuation up, So... and be an opportunist. You've got to be have your head in the game, and you've got to have some vision and set some goals and some planning in place, and you've got to adapt to the market and be ready for those ups and downs.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it always makes it hard when the media is all of a sudden so intrigued in the RBA and what's happening every month. It's crazy that they're making it worse for everyone.
Yeah, I think so. And then media too around car sales. I saw that the other day. It was in the background on the TV, the news, and it caught my eye. The media saying now's the time to buy. These cars have $7,000 off recommended retail, and this car's a $2,500 bonus, and blah 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 and so on. But they're not looking at the stock availability, what car they were, whether it was new, used, whether it was a demonstrator, and the circumstance behind it. And again, it goes back to a lot of people get caught up in that with the RBA, I guess, with the media around what's hot, what's not. Should I be buying now? You can get caught up in that noise, or you can actually do your own sort of market research.
Yeah. And
it's always good to have your head in the game of knowing what's what, and I suppose having a trusted opinion. So
that's it.
Yeah.
And
important.
I guess that's what we try and push here as well. Even if you're not ready to make the jump right now with a new car, still come in and still talk
Absolutely.
To the team, because they're going to set you up to be in the perfect position when that time comes. You never know what's going to happen with your car, whether it dies, whether, I don't know, natural disaster.
The time might you're right, the time might not necessarily be right now, but the time's right any time to be getting a bit of advice and putting some plans in place,
Yeah, education is power.
It is. And I find that a lot with, we offer the service through my social media with Trade Tuesday. And I've got a lot of people there that'll dial in and ask about, their trade-in, and not so much for now, but to get a bit of an idea of scope of what their car's worth, what the current market is, and I love that. I love the fact that we're able to give that service where we can provide an indication of what a trade-in may be worth, not right now, but starting a conversation around, hang on, the market's hot, or BT50 might be 3 months away, or if you're looking at a car and you want something, now might be the right time because it's going to be a 5-month wait. It could be around interest rate. It could be what's available now. It could be about my trade-in that needs a lot of mechanical work. What do you think? Is now the right time to do it, or am I not going to get that money back as a return? So that's a service that I'd like to provide, I do provide to offer people. And again, it's that no obligation. I want to be the car guy. I want to be the car man and help out and give some advice where it's there.
Totally. It's kind of like looking at you as they would their financial advisor or their, I don't know, anyone really who's offering them ongoing advice. It's really no different.
Except I won't invoice them after a consult. So.
Exactly right. Free of charge.
Maybe when they buy their car, but that's about it. Yeah,
exactly. So are there any new kind of car market updates for everyone to know about?
No real car market updates. The bit of a change a little bit with instant asset tax write-off. So that actually, as of June 30, the threshold changes to 150k instant asset tax write-off now. That, as of the 1st of July, will drop back to 20k.
So talk us through that for people who don't understand. Bring it back down to everyday chit chat, and what does that actually mean for someone?
Just from a business point of view, that it's an opportunity then for an instant asset tax write-off. So for anything under that 150k, and obviously they're going to need to get their accountant's advice of what's right and what's not right. But financially, if they're in that position, now's a perfect time for that instant asset tax write-off. So up to that value of 150k. Post that, it's still there, but not to the figure that it was come 1st of July.
Yes.
And that's not a case of order now and pick it up in a few months. It needs to be sold and delivered prior to June 30.
Yes. And am I right in saying that when you're referring to the instant asset tax write-off, you are able to claim the tax that you would have to pay for that car? So it's around 30% of that asset, whereas you'd usually just claim the depreciation over the years.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly right.
Very good.
So it's a great time to buy, along with many other reasons. So other updates, I guess, is that the rates seem to be moving around a little bit, not lower. They continue to rise that little bit. Stock availability has been probably better than what it's ever been. Now there's still a bit of a wait in certain product, certain model. The good part of that is that the used car cycle is in a great position. So we currently hold around about 80 cars in our used car yard. By the end of June, we'd like to think there'd be around about 100. So I've got that trade cycle management flowing really, really well.
Just on that, with the used car centre, can you purchase a used car and then offset that with the instant asset tax write-off? You can.
Yes, you can.
Same
thing, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
Other updates. We've still got from an Aspley Mazda point of view. We've still got our normal. We've got our campaign for end of financial year, with 3 massive offers. From a used car point of view, every used car purchase receives 15% off servicing for life. That's on all makes and models. We've got our multi-policy family discount through our service department. So any referral there, you can save up to 20% off your service cost, and that's also on all makes and models. Have our same services available that we do with our mobile service truck, our loan cars, service drop-offs, home pickup and delivery. 24-hour test drives available on BT50 and also our passenger car range. So all our normal stuff.
Bit going on.
There is a fair bit. There's a fair bit, and anything there that I haven't mentioned, I'm happy, because the attitude with us is that we'll find a way to make things work. So
definitely.
And that's why I'd like to be a bit of an open book and very transparent about any question, and no question is stupid. That's for sure. So. Especially when it comes to automotive, because it's a big market, obviously.
And it changes all the time.
All the time.
Like every market, I guess. Another update is our CX90 launch next Friday.
CX90 launch. So I'm really excited about this, the CX90. So first we were blessed with the 60, and we're going to see those cars sooner rather than later. And that will be a really exciting time to see that car hit the market. But the CX90 is another level again, and I'm really excited about that car hitting our shores. That's not till later in the year.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it, and I credit Mazda for this, is that we've got a vehicle coming to our launch that we'll be able to show. and this is months and months before it's going to hit the Australian market. So it's a great opportunity for people to come and see that car well and truly before it actually is hitting the roads, you know.
Absolutely.
So in the past, and especially over my time, is that you'd get a new car release and you wouldn't actually see the car until the car's released.
Yeah.
So my
kind of
first,
puts you on the back foot.
well, it does. My
Yeah.
first vision of that car would be on the showroom floor when they've come off the truck, and I'm running over to it to go and see this new car that was available for sale. This is a car that we're getting to explore and have a look at prior to it arriving, which we did with the 60, which we'll do again with the 90. And that's next Friday. So there's still available spots there. Which is going to be held at the BTP Conference Centre at 8 Mile Plains. So we will have a link attached that you'll be able to register online and go to that. Open for family and friends, not just yourself, to have a look at. So it'll be a great event, actually. The other little treat there is we're going to have a CX60 on display on the same night. So for those people that missed the CX60, we'll be able to look at the 60 and the 90 side by side. So.
And just good to compare as well, because they're similar but so different at the same time.
So different. And again, it's all new for us. So I haven't seen any of this CX range, or 60 or 90. So it's going to be fantastic, and it's obviously going to be a big player in the market, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and just kind of watching Mazda take this next step in luxury as well.
Yeah, Mazda Premium's a big part, huge. You know, some of the technology that's going to be available in these new cars is something else. You know, I think the tech that's in these cars now is something else, but this again is a whole new level.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it, really excited for it, and it's going to open to a whole new part of the marketplace as well that we haven't seen before, and some buyers that have really wanted that premium part of Mazda that we haven't been able to deliver in the past that we now can.
Definitely.
So I'm looking forward to showcasing that and getting some of those people that haven't been Mazda buyers due to the lack of premium now right in their space. So it'll be exciting for us, that's for sure.
It will be. So everyone, RSVP to that event if you want to attend. June 16th, 6 to 8 p.m. Now, each week we want to put the question box up on Luke's Instagram to get everyone to chime in on any questions that they want answered. You know, we're here to kind of deliver what you want to hear. So keep an eye out for that every week. I do have a listener question for you here, Luke.
Yeah, perfect.
So, are there any payment options for upgrades done through your workshop, i.e. finance?
Through finance, we don't actually have... We can't take a loan out or offer or add to an existing loan that might be there for any workshop service. However, we do have payment plans available, and we do have an option there through OpenPay that we can assist people with. But I'm also happy to have a chat to them about that and work out payment plans that we can put them on depending on the scope of the work. So we can we'll talk about that. Happy to answer any of those questions and come up with some sort of plan.
Yeah. So answer in short, yes you do.
Yes we do.
Great.
Yes we do.
That's good to know. Anyone who likes the look of Luke's BT50, you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we also want to introduce a bit of a quote of the week or motivation of the week. For those who already know or those who don't know, Luke is very big on motivating his team here to deliver results, and his morning sales meetings are definitely a meeting that no one wants to miss, and they're quite special. What is your week? What is your motivation this week?
Oh, I don't know. I have a lot that changes daily, but probably the big thing that you put me on the spot is...
Well, each week you're going to remember
I
to
will,
come prepared.
I will. But yeah, I guess I don't. I just need to dial into what's probably... I have a lot of different motivation that happens daily, and it's probably one that strikes to me the most... is one that I'll probably talk about in this week. It would be the power of people, and like attracts like. And I couldn't be a bigger believer in that you're attracted to a certain type, and generally the positive attract the positive, the winners attract the winners, and the ones that probably aren't seem to attract each other. And and I've always used this as some motivation to the staff, is that it can be really it can be really easy to get caught up in the irrelevant, almost toxic things that aren't rewarding, because it's easy. It's easy, and it's but sometimes it's harder to focus on the good when it doesn't come as easy as some of the bad. So one thing that I've always tried to encourage others is that when you're feeling like that and you're finding it tough and you're finding it hard for that motivation, is go and position yourself around the like-minded people. Position yourself around people you want to be like, and what you want to feel like, how they make you feel, and be able to deliver that energy. And that's what I always do. And For me to be positive all the time, I need to be around positive people. I need to have good energy, and then I just love and I strive giving that good energy to others. And to me, when there's some negativity or some toxicity, I almost shut down from it. I'm like a turtle that goes into its shell, because you don't want to be part of it.
No, but it's so easy to absorb
that. It is. I guess that would be my motivation is, and I think about this all the time, like attracts like. And when you think about it more, and this is on a personal level, it's on a professional level, it's in anything, and again, these are some of the things going back to what we're talking about earlier with football that you don't see. I look at the Dragons, and that must be a tough spot at the moment. You look at 30 players that are in in their side. You've got coaching staff, you've got first aid, you've got medical, you've got trainers, you've got fitness trainers, you've got everything else associated. So there's a lot of that ends up around 50 odd people. Plus there's the club that's involved there with management, recruitment, and everything else. So you talk of that 50 plus number, you think of 50 plus personalities. And you think, right, okay, so when you're not winning games, when you've lost a coach, right? You've sacked your coach. You've got a new coach coming on board that you think you're going to get. You miss him. You lose your major sponsor. There's not a lot to be happy about, is there? There's not a lot. So what it comes from within then is those people that really, really strive to find the positive and the energy and drag those people along that really need that help and support. And they're the leaders. They're the motivators. They're the leaders. They're the ones that you'll always find that will be playing for Australia or playing State of Origin or being captains of their club and so on. And so maybe that might not be necessarily right around you at the time, but it may be that one of your favourite players is that player because he's how he makes you feel.
Yeah.
And and I'll look at some of those inspiration players that you don't know necessarily, or you see them on TV and you're not talking to, but they can give you the same drive subliminally as having that person sitting right beside you. So
yeah, absolutely.
To me, it's this is a message that I always give out to my family and friends, and something I'm a big believer in. And as I say to my wife Jess all the time, it's like attracts like, and you don't have to do much and you'll find yourself surrounded by those same like-minded people. When you are struggling a little bit and you feel a little bit overwhelmed by things not aligning and things not going your way, and you've got to look for that, hang on, there's this fix, and I just need that bit of good energy and I need a bit of that good power, and how it can be a game changer,
Yeah.
But I don't want to wake up every day feeling down and out and feeling like you're struggling. I want to wake up every day with feeling full, and feeling with wake up a feeling of really good energy and love and support. And when you wake up feeling like that, you're unstoppable, know. So, and then I like to believe that I'll be able to deliver that to my team every day. And so
a lot of your team will look to you for that, to be that person.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. And then and with that, from I guess you see behind the scenes, you see it with football, but you see it again here is I run a leadership team. So within that leadership team, I've got leaders there, which we're spending a lot of time on player management and people, and that positive energy and that helping others, and just those little touch points to help people grow in its mindset.
Yeah.
And we'd like to deliver that on and on. So I'd like to think that it's a big topic of ours and a big point, our point of difference. It's our point of difference, and I believe I'm a pretty good leader when it comes to that, and working really hard on growing the rest of the team to think the same way.
And I guess just to add to that as well, like attracts like, but also if there's something that isn't serving you, something or someone, then get rid of it.
Correct.
Put it in the bin.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. A couple of terms there with, dead lettuce has always been one of them. I think sometimes it's the best thing too, is you've got to, that's not good, and if it's not giving you the right energy and the right positivity and the right feeling, it's not good for you, you know. And it can be easy just to use that as an excuse, or be comfortable with that because it's easy, and it is easy, and that's why I've always had the big minority and majority talk. Is if you're a minority and you're really having a crack, that's always not going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
If you want to be comfortable, sometimes it's easy to adopt that. Oh no, too hard. And I don't like to have any of that attitude here, and it's not something we breed as a game plan at Aspley Mazda, that's for sure.
Definitely not. Now, we are coming to the end of this episode of our podcast, and each week I just want to do a bit of a weekly unwind where I'm just going to hit you with a random question.
Yeah, go for it.
So this week I have, if you could have 5 people over for dinner, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, Jesus. That's not
No preparation. No Jesus. He didn't get an invite.
5 people that I would have.
Surely Matt Damon makes it in
Well,
there.
Matt Damon, I don't know. Matt Damon would definitely be there. I'm a bit intrigued by Matt Damon.
For those that don't know, Matt Damon is Luke's man crush.
Bit of a man crush. Matt Damon. So he's one. Dana White.
Yep.
Would be number 2. I always am very, very intrigued by Dana White as in his sport and how he presents. Might be a bit different around a dinner table.
Definitely some opinions will be thrown on the table.
Yeah, and
but that's interesting.
Sometimes that's really good. I'd have my wife because she's my wife and I've got to have her there, but I love her company. And she would add...
You're not meant to follow it up with because I have to.
No, I didn't mean it that way. She was a mandatory. She would be there. She'd be the first pick. Can we put that before Matt Damon and Dana White, please? So Jess first, Matt Damon, Dana White.
2 more.
I don't know. It's a really tough one when you think about it on the spot.
It is.
One person that I'd have to have Alex Glenn there. Lexi's just that he's the sort of guy that if you were to have around a table like that and you were to have some guests, that the banner would be there, but the conversation would always be at an extremely high level. But it's very, very positive, and it gives you a great mindset, and you always have the feel goods when Lexi's in the room. So
I feel like as well, it's always good to have your pal across the table.
Yeah, be good, my boy Lex there, and I'd probably have Mearsey there, my best mate Mearsey as well, because.
Wow. Anyone in the world, and you're choosing 2 people that are very close to you.
Yeah,
look at that.
I think it's important, like those people, they are what make you who you are today. It'd be nice to have others to share the dinner table with, but sometimes it's those that are closer that offer the inspiration, the drive, and make you who you are. Mm-hmm. And with the wit, the sledge, the personalities, and when you share the same visions, and you kind of it makes it so much more fun. And more filling, I think. So I reckon
I would have thrown a comedian in the mix.
I am the comedian. Thank you very much.
Oh, is that right? That's the first joke.
No, there'd be a fair bit of humour, I reckon, between us all there. I don't know how Matt Damon would go off as on the dinner table, but it'd be great.
I reckon he's got some undercover wit to him. He's been around town a lot. Good wit. He would have a lot of good stories.
Yeah, Jess and Lexi would throw up a fair bit. They're really good. With their, what's the word I'm looking for? The riddles. They're like both superstars on riddles. They have a riddle off. I'm no good at the riddles. I overthink them. I'm overthinking like I do everything. These riddles, and these 2 have worked them out backwards in logical thinking. So I reckon it'd actually be a really good table. What would be more interesting is what the menu would be like, but we'll get to that another time.
I'll put that in the next week's question.
So there you go. There's my table. Right. Under pressure, but I reckon that would be... and of course, I'd love to have all my family there, but they would be just natural.
It's only 5 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
One dinner.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's my pick.
Very good, very good.
So that's it for this week's Car Man Conversation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you've enjoyed the new layout or the new format. Like Rach said, is that it's we would love to have any questions from the viewers around anything you'd like to talk about. You've seen I'm an open book, whether it be around football, whether it be about dinner, whether it be about anything car related, any topics that we've got for Car Man Conversations. Feel free, follow the links in the description below, and we look forward to catching up with you. In the meantime, anything that you want to talk about, always available on through DM, through my Instagram, LDC_01. But again, thanks for listening, and I can't wait to catch up next week on next week's Car Man Conversations.
See you there.
Thanks, Rach. That's all for today's episode of Car Man Conversations. Thanks for listening. If you're keen to learn more about today's topics, or if you have any questions, head over to my Instagram, LDC_01, or follow along at aspley.mazda. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe to us on your favourite podcast provider by searching Car Man Conversations. And please, if you love what you're hearing, don't forget to leave us a great review.